Just a quick reminder guys, these narrations are best enjoyed with headphones on. Ladies and gentlemen, start your emulator. It is time for a special episode of RetrOS, the show where we give you recommend dose of nostalgia by reviewing games from your childhood. This is sponsored by the 1992 Federation of Disabled Gaming Reviewers here. The date of posting marks the 21st anniversary of the day that both my past, present and future changed. Last year we took a look at Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire for the Game Boy Advance, which broke the 2,000 view ceilings. And by the way, this was absolute madness, guys. This year we're returning to remaster territory by revisiting the game that I remember playing during the rehabilitation stage of my recovery. Is this game worthy of remembrance? Or is this remaster as painful as the GTA Definitive Edition trilogy at launch? Well, without further ado, the die is cast, let's find out. Out of all the strategy games franchises out there, the Creative Assembly's Total War series is one of the very few franchises that truly stood the test of time. Its unique blend of 4X mechanics, similar to Sid Meier's Civilization series, mixed in with real-time tactical battles, is truly unique. The series began in 2000 with the release of the first game of the series, Shogun Total War. At the time, it was truly unique as it featured real-time tactical battles in a fully fledged 3D environment. The classic had an expansion pack, the Mongol Invasion, which allows you to play as the Mongol warlord Kublai Khan as you command your forces and take Japan by military force. The game's direct sequel, Medieval Total War, was released in 2002, followed. The developers took what's good about their first game of the series and cranked them tenfold. The game went on to become an instant classic in the series as a whole. Deployed to the front line, Rome Total War, released in September on that fateful year, 2004. This game is centered around the rise of the Roman Empire. In this game you take control on one of the three ruling families of Roman society. It is up to you to manage your settlements, economy and armies, conduct diplomacy with other factions, and then use these armies to crush your enemies on the battlefield, then topple the Senate to become the Emperor of Rome. Okay everyone, lend me your eyes and ears, because the accessibility scores are as follows. To kick things off, visibility, I scored an 8. Let's get this out of the way, there are no colorblind modes available in this game. To be fair, the game was released in 2004. Colorblindness was not a factor in the gaming industry as a whole. However, even in a remaster, this should have been addressed. However, this is not an issue as the symbol of the controlling faction is present for each unit in battle, on the banner on any army, on the flag of any of the settlements on the campaign map. Also, when the cursor is over them, tooltips should appear showing you the controlling faction and that faction diplomacy towards you. Also, when it comes to armies on the campaign map, the amount of colour on their banner represents how strong their army is. This is important when planning attacks on enemy factions. After all, as Confucius once said, the wise man knows when to fight and when to run. Therefore, a player with a visual impairment may encounter issues when playing this game. However, workarounds are available within the game's interface. Next on the battle plan, audibility, I scored a sky-high 10. When the advisor speaks to you, albeit being military or economic, subtitles should appear besides his or her portrait. Also, when a significant event occurs during a battle, for example, when a general of an army gets killed, text appears on the screen. It might not be effective as full-blown subtitles, but better than nothing, I guess. Next up, mobility, I scored a 10.5. As par for the course for all strategy games on PC, the game is primarily controlled by the mouse. Left click selects armies and settlements, and interface navigation, for example, using the recruitment and or build menus. Right click, issues orders. There are hotkeys which can be defined to suit your impairments. This is important as the Total War series is very hotkey dependent. For example, you could select your entire army by pressing Ctrl and A. If you want to jump in straight to the battles, you can pick between one of two hotkey schemes. A new one designed specifically for the remaster, or for veterans, you can simply switch to a classic one which mimics the original 2004 release. So, a player with a mobility impairment will be able to complete this game with very few issues. And that's by certainly by no means least gameplay, I give it 10. This remaster contains the base game, the Barbarian Invasion expansion pack, which allows you to take control of one of the various barbarian factions that was active during the fall of the Roman Empire, such as the Huns or the Western Roman Empire. In this expansion, you can either save Rome or destroy it. This remaster also contains the Alexander expansion pack, which allows you to follow the footsteps of one of history's greatest generals, Alexander the Great. Fun fact for you guys, did you know that Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar and Joan of Arc were all epileptics? The visions which Joan of Arc had, inspiring her to take France back from the English, were attributed to epileptic seizures. See guys, disabilities such as epilepsy should never stop you from achieving greatness. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. Even today, Rome Total War is still seen as a classic from the series as a whole. It laid the foundation for a lot of Total War titles going forward. Even the newest edition Pharaoh, the DNA of this title is still present in this game. With 3 fully fledged campaigns to play through, this game has plenty lifespan. You can also play multiplayer battles against other players online. The gameplay does get boring from battle to battle, but this title is still worth revisiting now and again. Now this remaster also has full Steam Workshop support, and the mod manager is built into the game's interface. This means there is a broad range of content for you to enjoy for as long as the modding community of this game remains active. With the sheer amount of factions that are selectable with every campaign, there are plenty of strategic possibilities when you're playing this game. In terms of system requirements, this game is extremely low-spec friendly. The game requires an NVIDIA 600 series graphics card. Now these cards which came out in the mid-2000s, so almost every PC should be able to play this game with very decent settings at 1080p resolution. So if you're an RTS enthusiast and is looking for a cheap low-spec friendly game to play, this game is highly recommended. And the overall score is 96.25%. This is Sponsor Commander 1990, Chief Editor of Disable Gaming Review signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next review.